G'day, Josh. Thanks for coming and giving us an update, our second interview.
Yeah.
How you been, bro?
Oh, mixed bag of nuts.
A mixed bag of nuts.
Mixed bag of nuts.
So our last interview was 24th of October, so about 3 months. So what's changed?
What's changed? Biggest one probably last time we spoke about court.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went through the process of being on a what is it? It's not a layover one. It's one of the reserve list for the county court trials. They're trying to squish everyone into the last lot of summer before it gets rolled over to next year. So I went in there at 9:30. They roll it over to 2:15. We still don't have a judge. It was a bit weird, the process, because I was supposed to have a 14-day trial, or 10 to 14, and they're like, no, we could do it in 7 days. Other people are then saying they could do it in 7. It's almost like an auction. And then she's like, no, we could get Jesus' one done in 5 days. The other one's like, yeah, we can do it in 4.5. And I'm thinking, didn't really want to have a 14-day trial. Let's skip all these major parts that may end up in a massive prison sentence if found guilty on the first charge alone. So I was saying, luckily enough, they couldn't find a judge. So it rolled over to the end of May this year. So it's a 5-month adjournment or 6-month adjournment from, it was the 2nd of December it first started, and on the 4th or 5th of December they said, yep, no, we'll give you the 28th of May. So I'll be up for my legitimate youngest one's 21st birthday. So that's the first and second one there. So still out of lockup for the moment.
yeah.
And yeah, I'll be up for that moment.
So you're still on bail, yeah?
Yeah, still on bail. They just rolled it over.
So you're obviously keeping your nose clean because you're still here.
Me, well behaved.
Yeah.
We'll go with that for legal reasons.
Yeah.
Hence the chipped tooth and the moon shoe.
So since we've spoken, you've got a chipped tooth and you're in a moon boot. I see.
Yes.
So what's happened there?
There was a lovely young lady that you also interviewed.
Yep.
And one night I said, would you like to go grab something to eat? And we went to New York Minute, grabbed burgers and macaroni balls. She said, do you want to come back to Paran? I said, cool, we'll go back to Paran. It was one of those nights where I think it was 32 during the day and it was still 28 degrees at midnight. I get you want to go for a swim? I said I didn't bring anything to swim in. Next minute we walked down Chapel Street. She goes, let's go stop at a bottle shop. I was inside buying. It was weird because every bottle shop, I'm 42. I get to that Thirsty Camel bottle shop, which is apparently 24 hours, and they got an iPad or a tablet, take a photo, and then they ask for my ID. And I thought, oh, okay.
I've never heard of that before.
Neither did I, so I was a bit weirded out. Anyway, I come out, and the lovely young African-American lady had bumped into a half New Zealand Croatian lady, and who was a very, very lovely young lady at that point in time, before the night took a bit of a turn. And so, yeah, she says, cool, she comes swimming with us. And she's like, oh, you're going to need my alcohol. So I do another run back into the shop, all good. So the next minute I find myself on, I think it's the Paran station, I think, or one of the along the lines there to go to Sandringham Beach.
Yeah.
We rock up at the Sandringham Beach, all's good. We, go, that young lady was amazing. She got all these like 4,000 twigs, the African American lady, and then she dug out a pit.
Yeah.
She got all the little kindling from the sides of those scrubs, and just I don't know how she made it that fast, but I said, Bear Grylls has got some competition. She said she did survival skills in Seattle or Alaska or wherever it was when she was over there.
Yeah.
So I was fairly impressed. But yeah, I can't go into legal reasons how I ended up with 1 foot in the sand and 1 foot on the rocks, but the journey has different reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think I was supposed to spend Christmas lunch with him, but didn't. I saw him only last week, I think it was. He went somewhere for dinner. Where did I go? I was down the Yarra with Juan and 2 or 3 other mates from Colombia and Spain and Argentina and different Spanish-speaking places. And I rang a friend called Meatloaf and, said, hey, what are you doing? And I just rang my son beforehand who said that he was at wherever they were for dinner. I think it was the market or wherever they were. And so yeah, I said to Meatloaf, "Why don't you come down?" And he goes, "Oh, you want me to bring your son as well?" So some of my friends got to meet him,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, they seem to have this like he's not a hit or miss, but as I said, on his good days, everyone goes, "Oh, he's got such a sweet, loving kid. You've raised him well. He's amazing."
Mm.
And then when he starts to be him, they're like, how did you put up with him, or how did you survive so long, or you've done well with it. You got to try and rein him back in, or whatever it was. So
Mm.
he said to Juan apparently that I've done a lot, the last since he's turned 18 to save his bacon.
Yeah.
Because he's pushed a lot of people, as I said, the wrong way. That he owed some people a lot of money, and
Yeah, you
he
were
stole.
explaining that last interview,
Yeah,
and yeah, you had to sort of back him up, and you had to take him to the police station. You was signing in on the same day or something like
yeah,
that.
because they'd actually put a warrant out for his arrest.
Yeah.
That time. And as I said, I was actually going out to him when him and his partner got a shared house where they rent the bedroom, but there's like two other bedrooms that's always also rented out
Yeah.
in Albion. So yeah, my friend from Seymour goes, Jesus, your son's wanted by the police. So I had a look as I was going out there, and as I said, I just explained to him, if you come with me, I said, it's a 50-50. You'll be on remand. I'm going to try and talk him into a sign-in. I said, I was in a sign-in. But I said, they may actually put you on remand. I said, if you're just walking around or just sitting at home and they knock on your door, because that's what the police actually said to us, that they'd actually, in the process, or had been given permission from the judge to arrest my son and then put him straight on remand, ifs and or buts. But he said that because it was the same day, he came on of his own accord, he came with a parent, his partner and himself had a residential address that he could bail to. They bailed him to that. So he's still out and free at the moment. But he tried to actually come and stay at the building where I'm at, but he's banned from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still don't know why that one, but I wasn't going to ask because even though he's my son, I can go up and go, oh, look, I'm his dad. You got to tell me. But he's over 18, so it's kind of like respect that.
Yeah.
He's his own person. He's over 18.
Yeah.
So even unless it's life or death, it's not that I don't worry about it. It's just that try and respect their personal space or whatever thing that he's his own adult. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're still staying at the same place, at the same building?
Yeah, I was contemplating, I think last time, moving to Port Melbourne,
Yeah.
maybe, hopefully, kind of. But because I had a lady friend that was out there, but yeah, she was like me and her are still awesome. However, I think she may have got herself detained.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she'd only just got out of Dame Phyllis, is the ladies one.
Yeah.
And she was in there for 12 months. And so yeah, I think she was wanting me to stay out there, but it was Boxing Day was the last time I heard from her. And so yeah, she does. She is a mixed bag of nuts. Anytime she can be a feral, she will be a feral.
Yeah.
That's kind of just the way the young lady has been. Because like I went out there to Port Melbourne, and she came and got me in a taxi, and then we went shopping. And when she went shopping, like I went shopping and got her up a couple of things. She borrowed a whole basket full of shopping. And then we get out to the taxi, and then she gets to her address, not around the corner, to her address. And yeah, myself and her partner taking the groceries and stuff, and she doesn't worry about going to pay back and pay the taxi. So there's that stuff. But then, as I said, there's if there's a will or a way, because I first met that young lady through her mum when I was up in Bendigo 2 years ago, rang me and said, I'm worried about her. She's involved with being a lady of the night and drugs and some of the shady people. Could I help her out a bit? So I tried my best, but there's a video of her cooking on my Facebook page, sort of thing. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's not kind of like my son, but yeah, as I said, on her good days. I think I've got that generally out of 42 years now, that most people are pretty good on their good days. It's just that, how people handle their off days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how is your love life at the moment?
Jerry. that. Geez, we got about 78 minutes on that one. No, that's about 78 hours on that one. No, I've had a woman that has requested my my DNA. She said she's sick of men and she wants to have a baby, and I've said that I don't want to partake in coitus with this lady, and she said that she was willing for a sample. I had a Brazilian lady who was living in my building, who's no longer living in my building. A lovely young lady who said that she liked me and one night wanted to spend some time as their coitus, but then also after that approached me and said, "Look, I'm Brazilian." Yeah, I know, I'm lucky, right? She goes, "My visa runs out in 6 months. I'm willing to offer you this sum of money to marry me for 2 years." Yeah, I know. It's willing to marry for 2 years. She was willing to pay all my rent. She goes, "I'd love to be with you and stay with you as a couple, but she goes, if you don't feel that way, then I'm willing to do it this way." She was that much wanting to do it, liking me, but also wanting that citizenship. So I'm like, okay, kind of whatever. Then I've had another lady that moved into my building and was starting to stalk me and harass me. And I actually said, you kind of need to back off, otherwise I will have to look at a court order. Could you please leave me alone? I've asked you once.
Yeah, that bad.
Yeah, I've told you, and now like number three, like I keep being nice, you keep going off being sideways. So yeah, that was that one. However, once again, it's really bad. There's another lady. There's about 487,000 of them, but there's another lady who used to stay in my building periodically. She comes down from the country, stays for a night or two, goes back up towards the country because that's where she stays with her parents. However, this woman was on a date with another man. I saw her in public. I'm like, "Hey, how you going?" And she's like, "Jesus, I love you. You're amazing. Can I give you a hug?" "Oh, Jesus, I love you." Like, well, she's on a date with this other guy. And she said that she introduced me as the guy that she feels most safe with at night time, that always cares for her and is amazing and all this other stuff. And then she had the audacity to go, "I don't know why the guy hasn't called me back." And I'm like, but it got even worse. It got even worse. That same lady that went on the date with the gentleman came and saw me talking to this lady I had to threaten with the court order. But the lady with the court order has a bald head and has glasses. Now, this other lady has glasses. She's then turned up with a bald head. She has shaved her head to what looks like she's tried to copy the other lady, because I think she thought that I like this lady, and if she shaved her head, then I would like her more than I like this lady.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like that was with the lady from Port Melbourne. Like, she would give me a hug, and then she told me that she wanted to spend time at coitus. And I said, "Your boyfriend's outside, but you've just cooked dinner for him, chops and salad. Like, he's just outside." Then we'd go for a walk to the beach, back to the tram, the 109 at Port Melbourne, and she'd go to hold my hand, and I'm like, to her boyfriend, I'm like, "Dude, your missus is trying to hold my hand. Is it cool that I hold her hand?" I said, "She's wanting to ask me to hold her hand." I said, "That's cool with me. Is it cool with you?" The dude said it was okay. But that's what I'm saying. It's a bit weird because after tonight, I'm supposed to do that big umbrella dinner.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was another lovely young lady who sometimes comes downstairs for dinner, and she wants to go feed the ducks on the Yarra. She's also in another Facebook video, so some people may know who I'm talking about. But I had her ex-boyfriend come up to me one day and said, "Jesus, it's okay." And I'm like, "Well, what's okay?" He goes, "I know that you spent time with my missus, but it was when we were in an off break. I think you're a legend. You're awesome, Jesus. We're all good. Just let you know there's nothing wrong between you and me." So it's one of those weird things where I even had boyfriends that saying that it's okay. So I'm just, yeah, whatever. However, and because that happens all the time, we had a Sudanese lady where I'm staying. We had a Mary lady that cooked me steak dinner and did other things. So, and I've gone on plenty of other dinner dates with other ladies, but still the main one, because I think that was like the heading last time, the prison or the lady. It's yeah, I bumped into another lady friend who, that was weird as well. About 6 to 8 weeks ago, I bumped into her. She said that she's had enough of her boyfriend, and she goes, "What are you doing for dinner, Jesus?" I said, "What?" I was with one that day, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm sick of my boyfriend. I'm going to break up with him. What are you doing for dinner?" "I'm going to take you out for dinner." I'm like, "Woman, like, it hurts my head." But no, I saw her last night, and she brought up the lady in question and said, had I seen her? And I hadn't seen her. kind of, because someone said that she was at Launch Housing, but then the lady I saw last night said that she was in North Richmond. But then someone said that because the lady in question was used to be a rough sleeper, a freedom sleeper, a homeless person. Occasionally do the lady of the night, and occasionally have spoke a lot of Italian herbs, but occasionally would do harder things.
Yeah.
People would even come up and say, Jesus, can you like step in? She's going back to the harder stuff, and she's getting out of control. We're worried, and that's people that lives that lifestyle, homeless and drugs, and even they're like, hey, she's getting a bit far fetched. But so I'm not quite sure if she was, because there's a lot of places out at North Richmond where they have like a rehab houses and stuff like that, or I don't know if she's out that way, but yeah, because she went from having that rough sort of lifestyle, but then she got into a place called Osmond.
Yeah.
Osmond House. It's Osmond. No. So actually, because everyone calls it Oz House or Oz, but it's actually OZNEUAM. It's Osmond. Yeah. So, but she did really well there for like 2 or 3 months. Yeah, there's no hard drugs, 3 meals a day. I still had some people coming up to me at that time. I even had a friend move back from Osmond House in my building and said, Jesus, she used to sit out at the courtyard 12 o'clock at night, cross her arms, start rocking and talk to herself. Like I'd walk past her sometimes and she'd be talking to herself in the window. I'd just let her get that out sometimes and just say, hey, how's your day going? Do you want to eat lunch together? Do you want to do this, that, and other? Like when we were at other places, because we had a bit of a falling out. But yeah, so so I think she went from being on the streets and having her issues to being off the streets. But then one day I'm led to believe she had a fair amount of alcohol to drink, and there's a couple of rules you got to live by out of Oz. They do this, they do that. You got to have all your appointments. You got to, not be verbally abusive to staff, which she was. She was doing really well for a couple of months. But yeah, it kind of. I'd had contact from. As I said, as long as I don't say her name, I'm quite sure it's okay to talk about it. She has children, and I was contacted by the father and said, she'd missed one of the kids' birthday. Next time you say you see her at lunch, whatever, this, that, and other, could you just let her know that the birthday was yesterday? And so I actually went up to her at Oz because I'd asked the father, hey, is it cool if I get a birthday card, get her to fill it out, send it, on her behalf, because he and her have court orders.
Okay.
So they can't talk directly, but apparently she's allowed to talk to the grandma once a fortnight to speak to the kids on the phone, something along those lines. And so I went to talk to her about that at Osmond, and she kind of broke down a bit and told me off a bit and said she hadn't seen her kids for so long, she can't remember their voices, like she's really struggling with her mental health. But so after all that, apparently when I went back to my building, she spent the rest of the day. She brought a goon bag, and she drank a fair bit of wine and maybe some more wine, and maybe even did some other things.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. The next minute, someone said, "Hey, we've seen her. She's gone back to doing not the shopping trolley, those long cart things that some people pull along with their kid in it, or they got homeless people have their belongings in it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, and they're like, yeah. So she was staying at I don't know if it's North Melbourne Hospital, or there's a big hospital somewhere, Footscray Hospital or something. People sleep in the stairwells or the car parks or something like that. So but yeah, so it's still kind of, she's got her back to being the lady of the night. I mean, one night I was visiting some homeless people up on the big market. I just take them some leftover food from what's the laneway one? The living room. They got the Alex ready-made meals. Like I'll take them back to where I'm staying and give them out there. Or I have mates that get out of prison or homelessness to my building, and they're like, "Oh, I'm starving," and I just grab it out in the fridge and just go, "Here, have that."
Yeah, nice.
But I bumped into this lady, and she was actually trying to help someone who was having a medical episode. Like the police were there and the ambulance was there, and she's like, "What's your name?" He said his name was whatever. He was like spinning out, yelling and swearing. I think it was the same guy that was swinging milk crates at me earlier on that night. He'd had a real bad breakdown. But yeah, so she's still being really helpful. But yeah, with her rough sleeping, because someone said that she's now at launch, but and she's doing all right. I think it was one. But Yeah, so she's still got her drug dependency issues and ladies of the nights and rough sleeping on and off and mental health. And I've still got my court case coming up. So the biggest step still is that, once, because I had a lot of, not last year, but I think it was the year before, I was up in Bendigo. A lot of the ladies were, oh, you don't want to commit because, you're men, you're afraid of commitment. I said, well, look, I've got a bit of a legal issue. I said, if I didn't have one, I could do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like I've also tried to explain to a lot of ladies that I grew up as an only child. So this is just me being me. Like I'm not saying that guys or girls are desperate when they try to go, oh, I've had one relationship, I've got to have another one, got to have another one, got to have another one. I'm just like, this is kind of like, not COVID, not new normal, but that's all. And then parenting as a single parent, because the youngest boy's mother left when he was about 3 months old, I think. So I was like a stay-at-home single dad for like 18 years or what it was. It was, so I'm just used to living that life. It's not me not wanting a relationship. It's just kind of like that relationship's got to be kind of more important than just like me just doing what's normal. But yeah, so I tell them a lot that, it's thing. So the biggest thing is when I spoke to this lady friend last night when she asked me how this person was going, was that it's still kind of a breakdown because she wanted to live with me last year and she wanted to date me. So that's kind of the thing. It's not like if I had feelings for her and she just hates me with a passion or I'm a weirdo or whatever. She's expressed interest towards me. So that's the problem. I think that being a lady, but she also feels like she lets down her kids and she lets down her parents and she lets down everyone. So I think when I've gone, we can't really live together right now, she's like, oh, well, I'm not good enough, or Josh doesn't think I'm worthy, or whatever. And the same with dating. And it's like, she's the number one person I want to live with and I want to date, but I can't because even when I talk to friends that are mentally sound or have high IQs, or if I speak to homeless people, or if I talk to her friends that have drug dependency issues, every single one of them have said, we understand that you don't want to be with her because you don't want to get with her just to be castrated, because it's not even if I only was looking at 1 year, I'd still have an issue. But the fact that it's could be 10, 15, 20, just depending on how upset the judge is if I am found guilty. There's a 50-50 shot too, as I said, that if justice prevails, I've got no issues whatsoever. And I may even take legal action, to sue for wrongful this, that, and other. But as I said, if I do get found guilty, because it comes down to the jury that doesn't know me from bar of soap, it's a long time. So still want to date that young lady. The young lady that I was going to go go feed the ducks with tonight after Umbrella. That's where we actually had that last year. She kept trying to be in a relationship and want to have time in coitus as sexual relations. And then I actually kind of just sat her down. I said, listen, I'm not mansplaining, but I said to this young lady, I said, I want to date this other person that we know about, and I love this person. So I said, I'm never going to say that word for you because it'd be wrong because I already know I feel this way. So I said to that lady who I was going to hang out with tonight, feed the ducks, that, we can be friends or we can be friends with benefits. We spent time together once. Within 5 minutes, I love you, babe. What are we doing? I love you again. And so I haven't been able to spend time with her that way again because I've just had to kind of reiterate to her, I want to, but I said, I gave you a chance not to blur that line, and you kind of just went straight for the stars straight away, this other lady. So it all comes down to court first. If I'm locked up for a while, then it's not sayonara, but it was amazing the little bit of time we did spend together, and I think we both cherished, have been fun with each other and just being goofballs and stuff.
Yeah, it would be tough, man, because you want to have put all your time and effort into a woman, and then the risk of getting locked up, and having that worry being locked up, because it seems like whichever woman you were to be with, you'd lift them up, and they'd be on the right track. You'd be good at doing that. So yeah, it'd be difficult, man. Yeah. What do you do? And it seems like all the ladies are after you, mate. It's a bit of a Jerry Springer.
I actually had another lady friend who is come here for dinner before, and one lady who works here loves her, but I had sat down and had dinner with her, and then we went for a walk. And she actually said, because sometimes when she cries, I give her a hug, and if she gets a bit upset, I just sit there, or she gets angry, I just sit there and let her listen. And she said that I'm amazing, I'm this, that, and other. But that's what she actually said. She said that she wanted to date me, but she actually brought that up. She goes, I could see that you're got your court issues, and that we can't date because of that. So that was a win there. I saw a woman that actually kind of recognised that she wanted to date me, but I couldn't because of that reason.
Yeah.
But she actually said to me just recently, she goes, "Oh, we're gonna have to stop hugging so often and holding hands." A lot of them want to hold hands with me while we're walking down the street. Like normally, sometimes it's like 10, 12, 2 in the morning. So I do it just as a safety thing, not a romantic thing, that they just feel safe walking down the street
Yeah.
because I'm so short and skinny.
Yeah.
I self-identify as anorexically challenged. But she actually said to me, she goes, "Jesus," she goes, "we're going to have to stop hugging so much." I said, "Why is that?" She goes, "Well, we hug that much and we get along that well and we hold hands that much." She goes, "If a guy actually likes me, because I'm not dating her, and she knows I like this other lady," she goes, "I'm not going to be able to date any of these guys. They won't approach me because they won't think I'm single."
Yeah.
So I got told off for, hugging too often and holding her hands. That she requests, she goes, "I'm going to have to stop requesting hugs and holding hands and going out to big markets and going out for dinners, because people get the wrong idea that I'm not just hanging out with them, because I'm one of those people that are, if I'm with my mates, I can just hang out with them. And if I'm with the women, I just hang out with them.
Yeah.
Like, we're all sexual, so I'm not saying I don't want to sleep with any of them, but my first and foremost thing is always just hanging out with mates and just hanging out with the ladies. It's never been on the forefront of the brain, because I do hypothetically sleep with a couple of ladies a year, or a lot. So yeah, it's just, that's what I'm saying. There's no need for me to always just kind of like push that agenda. I'm always like, let's go to the movies to watch a movie. Let's have dinner because I'm anorexically challenged. Let's go get that donut. Let's go to Ben and Jerry's. So that's where most of those end up.
Yeah.
The lady in question that I'm still hoping to work things out with after the court. Are eating jam donuts, going to Walker's Donuts. I went up to the Vic Market one night and we're eating. One of the Uber guys went past and had a messed up order and dropped off tacos for her and said, "Look hungry." So we're feeding each other tacos at the Vic Market at 4 a.m. So yeah, a lot of the issues with the lady in question that I have feelings for, hypothetically may or may not love. Involve a lot of food, a lot of food, a lot of conversations, a lot of walking and talking, plenty of cuddles. But I mean, I had an issue at my building where one of the ladies tried to attack the lady that I had feelings for. But yeah, then when we're up at the big market, another lady started verbally abusing me. And so the lady in question I was talking about, after the court, she just leapt into action. All my mates said nothing. All the workers there at the dinner said nothing. But this lovely young lady in question, we don't even know each other about a month then, she just lost her nana at the chick. "Leave Jesus alone. You're such and such. You're in such and such. You can't really talk." And so, we never revolved a lot of money or really going on dates. It's more spur of the moments. This happened there, and that happened this.
Yeah.
So, I'm still happy to be single at the moment, kind of. But
Yeah.
as I said, there's a lot of drama, a lot of issues with a lot of ladies daily. But not the one that I want. But as I said, she's got her issues and I've got my issues. So once I sort my issue out, so yeah, the judge will determine my freedom, but also my love life. It's still on that balance that I'm 100% committed as soon as that's over and done with. But so just as long as she's safe and happy at the moment. So
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a bit of Jerry Springer, man.
yeah,
That's full on.
yeah. They haven't threatened to hit each other with chairs just yet. That's the back end of that one. It's in with the court one and the police and ladies. That's probably I got a court summons, and it wasn't for me. The building where I'm at, one of my mates had a fight with another guy, and it was over a lady. And so just out of nowhere, the cops rocked up to my building. I'm like, haha, someone's getting arrested, suck shit. Then they're like, "Jesus, they're looking for you." I'm like, breach of bail. What have I done lately? maybe a couple of things. But no, so they because I'm always well behaved. Yeah, they just said, they got a court summons for you. I'm like, what a court summons? Because I was the one that broke up the fight. They want me to come to court to give evidence.
Oh, right.
However, because we're mates, I accidentally get the court summons and I take a screenshot of it and I send it to him. I said, look, they've come around to give me a court summons to come to your court. What have they got on the court summons? I'm like, oh, hang on a second. And I send it to him. But the problem's going to be in that one was because that involves mates and ladies and drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Because the fight that was there, the lady wanted to date me originally, but then went and dated another guy because he also has medicinal Christmas trees. Then that went sideways because she has some mental health issues herself. Because I was going to date her, but I could see the toxicity starting to build, that things were going to go sideways with everyone. Then when this mate that I'm talking about got her prison stayed moved into my room, eating meals together, they had an argument downstairs, and there's like 3 or 4 levels. And the next minute she goes, Jesus, can I come to your room to get some Christmas trees out of the man's locker? And so when we headed upstairs, he got jealous after they had an argument because she just wanted to weed. She wasn't coming up there for me or this other gentleman. She just wanted her weed. She goes, smokes her weed, goes to sleep. So when she snuck up one part of the building, because you're not supposed to be technically in other people's rooms, but she goes to one part of the building. I go up normally. He's come flying up to try and find me and her mid clapping hands. But the problem was I'd let her in the room. She couldn't find it. I think he had it or sold it or smoked it or did whatever. Accidentally inhaled it. But then she'd gone then to the ex-boyfriend's room just for the weed. So I know it's just the weed, even though she does get around. So she knocked on the door and I'm like, it's not a good idea. What happens if that person comes up, thinks it's me and you, but then finds out it's you and him, but doesn't know it's about weed, but thinks it's about coitus? And then that's what happened. The mate had come upstairs and was in the kitchen, and I said, "Are you going to sleep, or are you having a meal with us?" So a meal would absorb some of the alcohol, and then because it was one of those nights where the drink started off like that, and then there's more and more volume of alcohol, and then the soft drinks about that at the top. That they reverse over the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, he went into the room. He's trying to do the dodge because he's got some issues with the missus of a different nature, because I got involved in that one as well. So I'm on his side with the missus one. But on this one, he's trying to come out and say that it was self-defense, yet the dude was asleep in bed. So going to have a bit of fun on that one. But yeah, so that's the thing. I have a court summons and it involves police, but I'm not in trouble for it.
Yeah.
But as I said, it involves mates, but like not one, because it was a different gentleman who's not Spanish. And as I said, it involves a lady. So that's going to be my next one. So my next court is in the end of May for myself, but I've got to go to court for a mate, on the April, whatever it is, on the summons. So
yeah, right.
That's going to be another one if we have another catch up in another 3 months. If I'm still going to be out, but I will have been to court again. But yeah, so that one with the love of the life one, there was another lady who was at my building who moved out and came back and then left. She originally wanted to date me and once again have quality spent time with me. I know it's a curse. It doesn't stop. A lot of guys want a life like this, but it's a dead set headache. And I just told her that, I don't want to spend time with you because I want to spend time with this other lady. I don't want to date you because I want to date this other lady. And so she went and did her thing. But then one night I was in her room eating a cheese board, whatever, and she goes, "Oh, this boyfriend was bad for this other chick. You're a good guy. She's a good guy. Why don't you guys get together?" And so that was the recent one with that young lady. She rang me up out of the blue after 2 weeks of moving out. And that was her first question. Are you single? Are you still living there? What are you doing? We should go shopping. And then she said the person's name. And then she goes, "Oh, have you seen her? Have you seen her? What are you doing?" But what her advice was, that's the only reason why I'm probably bringing that one up, not to gloat because there's even more ladies. She keeps telling me, even though the court is coming up, that I should not so much try for a relationship, but just try and get in contact with her and sit her down and say, "Look, I didn't reject you early in the year over quarters, and I didn't reject you about living together, and I didn't reject you as far as dating. It was because, as I said, everyone else seems to know it's because of this. So she still reckons that even if I don't try a fuller relationship until after court, her advice was to, she said it's good that I didn't sleep with her and I didn't do this because I mansplained that, I do have feelings for someone else. It'd be wrong for me to sleep with you and date you when I feel this way. So yeah, but that was her piece of advice, is to at least talk to this person and say, hey, look, I don't hate you. You're not worthless. You're amazing. It's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't hate you, because she hates me for not loving her, but I do love her. But she hates me for not wanting to live with her. But if I had one person to pick, she literally would be the person to pick to live with. So it's kind of like, yeah, I kind of, I'm still, because I know if I do talk to her about that now, that she may want the relationship again, like bring up the subject again, you know what I mean? She may say, I hate you, Jesus, go away, leave me alone. Or she might go, okay, so you do have feelings, so you do want to live with me, you do want to have the same address.
Yeah.
So she may go, fine, let's do it now. Like, I don't care, let's do it anyway. But I'd still have that kind of, as I said, it's not a moral compass, but it's just still that not icky feeling or weird feeling that, I know it's wrong. So I reckon, as I said about uplifting, I said I reckon it's what I want. It'd make me over the moon, and I think it'd be amazing for her. But that's the thing. Like, if we got nothing at the moment, and we do date, and it's 110%, and then I get to court, and I get found not guilty. Well, as I said, I'm buying my home and buy cars, and perfect. But yeah, it's just that the crash, like a stock market sort of thing. You're like, oh, I've got money going up, and then the stock market crashed, and then you're left with nothing. Yeah. So that's my thing. I kind of want to take her advice and just sit her down and say, at least explain, like, this is how I feel, you know what I mean, and this is why I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because we've never had that chat at all.
Yeah, right.
So everyone else is always referred to as, how's your missus going? How's your wife going? How's this, that, and other? Are you guys still dating? And I'm like, we've never dated. So when she was actually out at Oz, there was a short little lady with a walker and with her partner, and said, are you and such back on talking terms? When I spoke to her about the son's birthday and missing it, she goes, every time. I said, why is that? She goes, oh, every time I see you two, she's yelling at you like husband and wife. And then she goes, oh, don't worry, she still loves you. It's all this and it's all that. I'm like, so she said that she loves me. Oh, no, she said she was upset with the way she spoke to you, and, she cares about you a lot, this, that, and the other. She goes, I'm speaking on behalf of all women, like, when we yell at you guys, we regret it instantly. We wish it didn't happen. We want to say sorry, but we're always too stubborn to say sorry. And so, but that's what I'm saying. As I said, I got a lot of people that refer to her as my missus or a girlfriend. So that's it. I think the whole last month or so, I've been inside with the moon boot, and I haven't gone to Hosier Lane or gone there. It's kind of settled down, because that was getting a bit hard as well. The amount of people that were saying that would be good for each other and make an amazing couple and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know if the title could still be the exact same, but it's still pretty much holding.
Yeah.
So I can't do nothing till after court, even though I'm would at least love to sit down and explain to her that, because if I do get locked up and we never have a chance to clear the air, that
maybe she needs a bit of reassurance.
Yeah, or just clarification kind of thing. Because I think that earlier in the year, because she was lady of the night, she stayed at my place in my bed and had offered services, and I said no. And I said, I know I've just only found out within 30 seconds of meeting you that I'd only known her for a couple of hours when she stayed at my place the night. I carried bags back to where she was sleeping outdoors from the market, and they said, why don't you come watch TV? And then I'm like, why don't you have a shower? There's my towel. And then I'm like, why don't you just stay the night? I'll sleep in the TV room. Whatever. But that night, as I said, she offered something, and I said, I'm not going to pay for it, because obviously all these other ladies. I didn't say that. She would have swung at me, being a woman. But but that's what I said to her. And then she said, no, I want to do it. And I said, well, you're probably also most likely offering oral services because you got a place to stay. I said, you can stay here for nothing.
Mm.
I said, I don't think, I feel like you want to do it, but you may want to do it. But I said, the fact that may be a reason. I said, I'm not really aroused at the moment. The fact that you need help more than I need pleasure.
Mm.
So I said, even if you were, so because I'd refused at an activity, and then it was because I'd hypothetically said hello to her without having actual coitus. I had made her feel happy, and she wanted to return the favor. But then I thought it was because of those reasons, and so that's what I'm saying. If a male has rejected oral procedures, and she's not a dentist, qualified dentist, then she'd said, "Hey, how about we get a hotel, and you pay 1 week, I pay 1 week, and we live together." And I said, we got to think about it, and this, that, and other. And later on, that was about 3 or 4 months later, just before my birthday in May last year, that we had another chat a couple of blocks down. She's like, "Oh, what about if we hold hands? If people see us hold hands, people might think we're a couple." Just trying to chuck it out there.
Yeah.
Me going, "Oh yeah, I'd love to hold." Because she goes, "Jesus, I'd love to hold your hand." And I'm kind of just like, "Oh, I didn't hear what she just said." You know what I mean? Like I wanted to hold her hand within half a second.
Yeah.
But I kind of just had to focus on being fat ass and walking down to Walker's Donuts. Because so that's what I'm saying. The fact that I picked up what she was saying about holding hands and wanting to date and stuff, and people, may think that we're a couple.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be such a bad idea or something like that. So I had to pretend like I didn't hear it. And so the fact that I said no to that, and then the fact that I kind of like and ahed about living together, because at that point I've had caught about another 6 times after that. So I could never go, yes, let's do it, and then whatever. So the fact that she feels rejected or pushed away 3 times, even though I wanted to say yes 1,000%, 1,000%, 1,000%, she now thinks, well, doesn't find me sexually attractive, doesn't want to live with me, and doesn't want to date me. When, as I said, I've never felt this way about any other lady before. And because someone actually said, like, how do you love her? How do you know you love her? And I actually said to him that hypothetically, as I said, I hug about 9 million ladies a day. It feels like. Jesus, they ask me, Jesus, can I give you a hug? Some of them go give me a kiss while they go to give me a hug. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit cheeky. Consent, ladies, consent. The fact that, so many ladies ask me a hug a day, and that's what I say. A lot of them say that they feel a lot better, or they feel safe, or they don't feel scared anymore, or they feel that the anxiety stops, that there's like a calming
awesome,
thing,
right?
getting a hug.
Yeah.
But and that's kind of what I said about this lady. As I said, I keep trying to not say her name. Is that not so much I get it from her, but because I kind of like give so much care and love to everyone else, like she's like one of the first women that I get the same feeling back, that I don't just give her a hug because I'm cheering her up, but kind of like cheers me up, it brightens me up, or if I'm feeling a bit exhausted, it gives me a bit more energy. Because that's what I said to one of my mates, that she's my energon source, or the energon spark thing out of the Transformers sort of thing, the Matrix, or what it was, the energon Matrix. So that's what I said, because the way she stuck up for me at the market. But as I said, there was a guy at the market, the old guy, and she stood out of line, went and got the guy's meal, and then gave it to him. There was another guy who accidentally went around and borrowed someone's bike from a garage, or tried to borrow something, and got punched in the head. And she, as I said, at 4 o'clock in the morning, just after we ate the Mexican food, she went over and got some ice out of the thing. She had some beers in, and gave first aid. And then when we're down at the living room, it's a hot day, someone bring a dog, she'll go straight in between smoking weed, and a bowl of water, and just, she has that thing sort of similar to I have.
Yeah.
That tall, short, dreadlocks, women, flat-chested, as soon as someone is in need of help, and everyone else is kind of like walking around like it doesn't exist, or intentionally trying to go, I see that person, but it's going to interrupt my day. She's like the exact opposite, where
Instant.
she has to. You just kind of just have to help people. It's like 100% genuine.
Yeah, she
So
sounds lovely.
so that's what I'm saying. So she thinks she's absolute. So on her bad days, it's a bit FUBAR. And yeah, that's a 5-letter acronym that people can look up. FUBAR. One of my favorite things. I was contemplating getting that tattooed when I was younger, but yeah, that's what I said to her. That not said to her, but like the opposite side of her when she's not on things and she hasn't been on a bit of a bender. That as I said, she's one of the nicest, kindest. Because she thinks that I think that she's worthless or she's not good enough or she's going to make a mistake or whatever. Or if we don't date, if she makes a mistake, she's not going to hurt me, sort of thing. Because she's worried about my feelings.
Yeah.
But so I think that's half the reason why she does do the similar lady of the night issues. Yeah. Like if she's not in a relationship, she can't hurt people.
Yeah.
Like she can't let down her parents, she can't let down her partner. She can't. I think that's the main reason why I was really wanting to try and help her reconnect with her kids, and so that's why, as I said, I think she tries to stay away from her kids because she's worried about making a mistake. And that's kind of what I would have tried to tell her is that a parent that tries and fails is better than a parent that doesn't try at all, because the kid can go, okay, my mum's a screw up, my dad's a screw up, my dad fucked up plenty of times, but oh, hang on, they tried. They see the parents that don't try at all. So they got the parents that are almost perfect, but so yeah, that's the same way I kind of was as a parent. I just kind of like did my best, and if it's not good enough, can't really do more than to give 100%. So, but that's where, as I said, it's one of those things where I just kind of wish she saw herself through my eyes on when she's having her good days.
Yeah.
That on her bad days, she's a bit shocking.
Yeah.
A bit of a loose screw, but yeah, mixed bag of nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's one of those things. On a good day, she's one of the nicest people you've ever met. The lovely Anna, is it downstairs on Saturday nights? Anna it is.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, but she's a lovely lady. But she's met her before.
Yeah.
When I came out of hanging out with the little lady that said, you got to stop hugging me and holding hands, because guys are going to think that we're dating and they won't date her, even though she wants to date me as well. But no, she asked me, she'd watched my video, and she goes, was the short blonde lady the one? She goes, is that the one? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, you've hugged her and you're eating the food and you're holding her hand. And is that the one? I'm like, what do you mean the one? She goes, I've seen the video. Is that the one from the video? Is that the one? And I said, no, that's not the one. I said, I'm just, being nice to me again.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so the one I'm talking about actually has been here for dinner 2 or 3 times last year.
Yeah.
So the lady has met us. So, yeah, we're still, yeah.
Hey, I've got my money on you getting your trial completed, being a free man, and enjoying the love life that you want.
Yeah.
I reckon that's going to happen, mate. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, I'll wrap it up there. Thanks, Jesus. It's a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. And we'll definitely do a catch up after your trial when you're a free man, man.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks, man.
All right, so.